Hi everyone, welcome to live stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. For today's Pilates conditioning class, we're going to be focusing and honing in on the trunk using 3 mini circuits which we're going to run through twice each. Before we get stuck into our set, let's begin with a little bit of dynamic mobilization. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat. I'd like you to set up for me today standing facing towards me with your feet in parallel, tailbone tucked under, belly button pulled in, and gently begin with a little sway, playing with the weight placement between the balls and the heels of your feet. As you start gently swaying back and forth, I want you to tie up and zipper up all the way from your ankle bone, connect along the inner thighs, pull up from the pelvic floor and pull up all the way to just below your breastbone so that you can feel that your whole body is totally engaged and grounded into the mat. Come to stillness somewhere between the balls and the heels. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Let go of the tension behind your neck. Inhale, bring it back to neutral. Exhale, gently look up to the ceiling. You're going to rinse and repeat that nodding action through the head, trying to release all of the tension and start connecting with a nice long spine. One more. This time, peep over one shoulder, bring it back to the center line, take it over to the other side. The whole time that you're playing with that sideways action, I want you to think of that strong root through the feet, that inner thigh connection, and that pull up through the lower abdominals towards your belly button line. Arms are just soft and relaxed at your sides. We're going to change it up. Drop one ear softly towards the shoulder and come back. Give me as much length through the neck as you can. Don't compress. Think beautiful, extra additional length out through the shoulders, out through the ears. As you complete your last one and come back towards the center line, I want you to give me a T-frame through the arms, fingertips looking up to the ceiling. Give me a little rotation through the shoulder joint. Find that root through the inner thighs and the lower abs. Change the direction. Same little circular trace, but you're going to drop your fingertips down towards the floor as you begin circling in one direction. Change the direction of your trace. Come back into an extended arm frame, bend the elbows, stacking one on top of the other, and then open up into T. Every time stacking the opposite arm on top. Watch that you're not hyperextending when you open up, so don't throw the shoulders back and arch through your lower back. I want control through those inner thighs and your lower abs. Totally zip it and committed. Last one. Drop the arms at your side and give me a forward stroke on the right. Morph into a back stroke. We're going to change sides. Four stroke on the left. Change into a back stroke. Come back to side one. Give me a forward stroke. Keep that forward stroke going and give me a back stroke on the other arm so that you look like a crazy windmill. Let's try that on the other side. Give me a forward stroke on the left. Once you've got that going, give me a back stroke on the right. Come to stillness along the midline. You're going to step out on the right and bring it back, giving me a soft lunge line. Once you've got the lunge line going, you're going to add a soft knee and give me a little curtsy lunge behind your stationary leg. Once you've got the legs going, you're going to add the arms. Think goddess, scarecrow, goddess, scarecrow. Giving me a soft little lunge to the side with a little curtsy lunge behind your stationary leg. Let's do 3 more on this side. Then we'll repeat to the other side. Last one. Find your step out position first. Once you've got your step out, soften through the knees and add a little curtsy lunge. Once you've got the legs in place, add the arms. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, last one. Step together along the midline of the body, feet hip-width distance apart or heel-toe in. Big breath in as you float both arms overhead. Exhale to sit back in a chair as you bring the arm across the midline of the body and give me a nice little diagonal stretch. As you bring the arms overhead, stretch as much out through the hips as you can. Keep lengthening through both sets of fingertips. We're going to change sides. Big breath in, getting a nice little stretch and a nice little bit of diagonal movement through the trunk. Let's do 2 more. We're going to change our orientation on the mat. You're going to think knee to nose on the right. Tap the right hand to the mat as you float the right leg behind you. Knee to nose on the right. Right fingertips to the floor. You're going to rinse and repeat your single tap. As you pull that knee up, pretend that you're pulling a little piece of string through your belly button so that you can feel your inner thighs and your lower abs working. 1 more on this side. We're going to change sides. Shake it out. Knee to nose on the left. Tap the left hand to the mat. Six more to go. Last one. We're going to roll it down either from parallel or giving me a soft V, whichever feels comfortable for you. Nod your chin to your chest. Give me a nice hollow frame, bringing it down 1 vertebra at a time. Use that strong connection to your powerhouse to draw yourself back to your start position. Rinse and repeat. Keep a little tuck of your tailbone, belly button pulled in, and fuse towards your spine the whole time that you play. Rolling down and mobilizing 1 vertebra at a time and bringing yourself back to your start position with the same amount of control. Let's do 5 more. Release the tension in the lower back. Give me a nice stretch through the back chain of the legs. Let's do 2 more, then we're going to repeat that little circuit. The last one. Belly button to spine the whole time that you're playing. As you peel back up along the center line, pivot on your mat to face towards me and take that little step to the side. Getting a gentle side lunge going. Once you've got the lunge going, soften through the knees and give me a little curtsy behind your stationary leg. Once the legs are going, add the arms. Goddess, scarecrow. Goddess, scarecrow. See if you can give me 5 more. 4, 3, 2. The last one, we're going to change sides. Find your step up position first. Soften through the knees and add a little curtsy in. Add the arms in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Last one. Keeping your feet hip width distance apart or heel toeing in. Big breath in. Cross over the midline of the body and take a seat. Every time you take your seat, weight into your bum and your heels, bringing your thighs as parallel to the floor as you can, and keep coming out through your hip bones as you stretch overhead on the diagonal. We're going to change sides. Big breath in, exhale as you come down. Almost a wood chopping motion. Let's do 2 more. We'll change our orientation on the mat after the last one. Think knee to nose and tapping out. Strong through your inner thighs and your lower abs to keep that right leg hovering off the mat the whole time that you play. Loading and conditioning on the left side. One more. Shake it out. Let's repeat on the left. Knee to nose, tapping out. Try to keep that left leg floating. 5 more if you can. The last one. We're going to roll it down. Pick your leg position, either from parallel or with a small turn up. Nod your chin to your chest. Beautiful hollow frames if you were stretching over a big ball. Peel back up to your start position. Mobilizing through the spine. Bringing it down 1 vertebra at a time. And using that same hollow frame and that same control through your spine to peel back up to your start position. Tie your breath into your movement. Make sure that you're giving me a full exhalation on the roll up as well as the roll down. Take a recovery inhale before you begin your descent and then your ascent. Let's do 3 more. Then we'll change our orientation and begin set 2. Last one. As you peel up on your last set, you're going to pivot towards me and open up your legs into a wide-legged standing straddle. Feet slightly out at 45, think almost plie. Give me a nice bend in the knees and push your hands into prayer. I want an active prayer so that you can feel the arms, chest, upper back, and shoulders are engaged. Also, this will help you with your balance. You're going to give me 10 big pulses up and down, keeping your tailbone tucked under, belly button pulled in, and dropping your 2 bum bones as low to the floor as you can. Think big pulsing actions. Don't collapse the knees in. Keep pushing them out from the inside. I'd like you to end low for me and give me 10 soft little flutter pulses up and down. 8, 6, 4, 2, end low and softly flutter the knees in and out like little butterfly gossamer wings. You're going to feel those glutes speaking to you. 4, 3, 2, give me up and down on the right heel only. Keep pushing into those hands actively. Change sides. 3, 2, both together at the same time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yowza! Just before your legs feel like they're going to fall out, you're going to heel toe in. Find your way to 4-point kneeling and set up an elbow plank for me on the mat. Body line nice and parallel to the floor. Stay. To work dynamically, you're going to alternate lifting and hovering one arm just off the mat. Keep your gaze down on the mat between your two arms. Try to keep your arms in a parallel line and try to keep your core braced so that you're not whiplashing and hanging on your collarbones. Belly button to spine the whole time. One more to each side. Tuck into a loose 4-point kneel and sit back on your bum. Find a soft boat line, tip the weight just off your tailbone with your hands braced on your shins. Open up into a soft T-arm and float back to your start position. Tipping the weight just off your tailbone, giving me a long line from your tailbone to your crown as you dip just off the center line. Core braced. 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold a boat line, preferably in T. If this is too much, bend and tuck in and hold from here. 5, 4, 3, 2. We're gonna take it into a roll down. If you've got a thin mat, sensitive spine, put your padding in place, sitting up nice and tall. Float your arms overhead. On the exhale, nod your chin to your chest, looking down to your belly button as you peel down one vertebra at a time, floating the arms overhead. Look down towards your belly button, brace into the heels. Use your powerhouse to come back to your start position. Rinse and repeat. Keep looking towards your belly button the whole time that you're rolling down, and more especially as you're rolling up, reminding yourself to use your core and not your momentum or your shoulder weight to bring yourself up and down. Give me a soft little forward fold if you like. Get a nice little stretch into the lower back. Peel back up. Nod your chin to your chest. Bring it down with control. Working mindfully, use your whole exhalation to connect your back line to the mat. Take a recovery inhalation and use your whole exhalation to come back to your seated frame, ending with a soft little forward fold. Let's shoot for 3 more, and then we'll end on the back, and we'll connect and play with the core. One more to go. When you come down on your last one, you're going to have to take your padding out. Once you've connected to the mat, you're going to interlace the hands behind your head, float your elbows wide. Beginning neutral spine. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, give me a small little rounding and a scoop of your lower back. Bring the weight just off your shoulders and float your body into a soft U-frame. Hold or play dynamically by softly flutter kicking the legs one on top of the other. 6, 5, 3, the last one. Bend the knees into a tabletop frame. Float your left hand to brace on your shin and your right hand on the inside of the left leg as you bring your right leg into extension. You're going to play with the movement, bending one leg as you extend and brace on the other leg. Keep your lower back scooped and imprinted. 2 fingers of air between the chin and the chest. Weight just off the shoulders. Exhale every time you tap the wall at the opposite end of the room with your extended leg. Inhale to transition, exhale to tap. 2 more sets. Last set. Float one leg up to 90, other leg softly at 45, holding onto the back chain of the leg. Give me a double kick towards your nose as you scissor through the legs. If this is too much, brace the hands behind your head, elbows wide, and just give me a double kick towards your nose. Two more sets. Last set. Tuck into a little ball frame and reconnect to the mat. Hands at your sides, palms down, or tuck your hands, palms down underneath your bum. Float your legs softly to 90. Then drop your feet just behind the 90 line. Pretend somebody's tugging on your feet, pulling them towards your nose. Lift your tailbone softly up to the ceiling and come back to your start position. Giving me just a little lift of your tailbone off the mat. I want you to feel a burning sensation in the area south of your belly button. Parking the feet softly up to the ceiling. Give me two more. Last one. We're going to morph into rolling like a ball or just gently cradle rock to the side and then find your way to a seated frame. Bracing behind your thighs or on the shins as you softly C-curve around out through the spine, rocking as far as your shoulder blades and back to your start position on the mat. Last one, you're going to use your momentum to propel yourself up. Find your way to that wide-legged standing straddle. Push your hands into prayer and give me big pulsing motions up and down. Come as low to the floor as you can through your bum bones. Make sure those knees are not collapsing in and keep pushing into the hands so that you can feel your trunk is totally engaged. Give me 4, 3, 2, end low for me and softly flutter up and down. 8, 6, 4, 2, end as low as you can and softly flutter the knees in and out. Keep pushing into those hands. 5, 3, last one. Give me up and down on the one side only, lifting and lowering that heel off the floor. Keep pushing into those hands. Keep your trunk and your core engaged. Change sides. Give me both legs together. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Brace under fire. Find your way to an elbow plank line on the mat. Set up your hands in parallel, elbows stacking underneath your armpits. Brace your core, strong through the shoulders. Stay or play dynamically by lifting and floating one arm just off the mat. Keep your gaze down on the mat between your two arms. Give me a long line through the spine and the neck. Keep your shoulders strong. Keep your core braced. See if you can give me 3 more sets. Then we'll add in a little side stretch before we come to our crunchy boat line. Drop to 4-point kneeling. Peel up along the center line, floating the arms in front. As you dip off the center line, float one arm in line with your ear. Give me a beautiful long line through the top of your thighs to your breastbone, keeping a plank line through the trunk and the torso. Give me one more to each side. Then we'll find our way into a seated frame and work that little crunchy boat line on the mat. Brace your hands on your shins and tip your weight just off your tailbone. Open up the arms into T as you extend through the legs. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, strong through that core. Hold your boat line, either keeping arms and legs in extension or tucking into a modification, either floating alongside your legs or bracing behind your thighs. 4, 3, 2, let's roll it down. Put your padding in place if you need it. Open up your feet hip-width distance apart. On an exhale, nod your chin to your chest, round out, keep looking towards your belly button, connect to the mat, and control your descent. Look down towards your belly button, zipper up on those inner thighs, brace into your feet, use your core, and give me a little forward fold. Rinse and repeat, getting into a rhythm of your own, but don't rush through the movement. Give me lots of control through the core and the spine to connect and disconnect from the mat, using your trunk, your belly, your inner thighs to control the movement. Let's see if we can do 3 more. Remember, on your last one, you need to make sure that you've removed the padding so that you can play and connect a little bit more strongly through the core. Last one. We're going to take it into that soft little U-hold shape as we connect to the mat. Hands float behind the head, elbows wide, scoop, peel up, and hold that soft U-frame on the mat. Stay or softly flutter kick through the feet. 7, 5, 3, last one. Let's morph into a single leg stretch, bending one leg and extending the other, bracing softly on that bent leg to keep the knees aligned with your ankles. Try to keep your lower back scooped and imprinted. 2 fingers of air between the chin and the chest as you play. Give me 2 more sets. We'll take it into a little double leg scissoring action. Either holding onto the back chain of your legs or keeping the hands interlaced and floating your elbows wide. Try to keep your lower back scooped and imprinted, weight just off the shoulders. You should be feeling that core burning. Let's do 2 more kicks, or rather 2 sets of kicks. As you complete the last one, reconnect to the mat. Arms at your sides, palms down, or tuck underneath your bottom. Little tailbone lift, starting behind your 90 line, come through 90, piking your toes and your tailbone up to the ceiling and focused on a slow descent with lots of control through the core, as if you wanted to reconnect your lower spine 1 vertebra at a time. So the coming back to the mat action is more important than the piking up to the ceiling. Control through your lower abs. Give me 3 more. Ready to roll like a ball. Bracing behind your thighs or on the shins, whichever feels more comfortable for you. Rounding out through the spine as if somebody was dropping a weight through the sternum to give me that nice rounded frame on the spine. Make sure you're rocking as far as the shoulder blades. Don't bring it up to your neck. Last one. Sweep the legs underneath you and set yourself up in a 4-point kneeling frame on your mat. Hands at least shoulder width apart, a little bit wider if you need to. We're going to work on the glutes. You're going to hover your left knee just off the floor. Bring it up into a little donkey kick and float back to your start position, squeezing through the glute to keep driving that little bent lever of a leg up and down. Work is coming from your glute. Don't drive from the knee or the foot. Think of your weight distribution on the mat. Readjust yourself if you need to so that your weight distribution is equal on your 3 points of contact on the mat. We're going to change it up. End with that knee hovering just off the floor. Bring the whole bent lever up to 90 and float back to your start position. Coming into a little fire hydrant lift. 6, 5. Think of your body weight distribution. Don't dangle your head down towards the floor. Give me a nice long line through the neck and the spine. Core brace the whole time. 2 more. You're going to end high for me. Pulse the heel into the center line and come back to your start position. Not moving up and down, moving in towards the center line and floating back to your start position. Right to left, left to right. Think of your body weight distribution, shoulders strong, neckline long, core braced. End back in your start position and give me 5 big circular traces, pretending that you're tracing around a small soccer ball or a tennis ball. Change the direction of your trace. Last one. Float back to your start position. Peel up along the center line. Keep hips stacked over the knees and give me a little release through your wrist line. Make sure that you work the rotation in both directions. Let's repeat that little donkey kick series on side 2. Find your frame. Think of that body weight distribution as your right knee hovers just off the floor. Bring it up behind you as if you want it to bring your heel bone up towards the ceiling. Driving the movement from your glute by squeezing to come up and relaxing through the glutes to float back down. The whole time you're keeping that connection through the inner thighs and your lower abs. Think of your body weight distribution, long line through the neck. 2 more. You're going to end with the knee hovering off the floor, float up towards the ceiling and back down. Think fire hydrant. Watch that neckline, don't collapse through the shoulders, keep your trunk and your core engaged. 4, 3, 2, you're going to end high for me, pulse your heel in towards the midline and float back to your start position. 8 more to go. Keep your belly button to spine the whole time that you're playing. Watch that neckline. Come back to your start position and trace a big circular pattern as if you were using your knee to trace around a ball. Change sides. Inhale for half of your circle. Exhale for the other half. The last one. Float back down. Peel up along the center line. Keep your hips stacked over the knees. And just give me a release into your wrist line. Come to 4-point kneeling. Either stay in the 4-point kneeling frame or step back into a plank. Hold for about 10 breaths if you can, nice and strong through your core, strong through the shoulders. Use the knees if you need to bend the elbows, coming down with as much control through the arms as you can, hovering off the floor for a second. Release to your belly. Legs soft and relaxed in parallel. Extend the arms overhead and relax your nose and your forehead to the mat. Give me a little diagonal stretch, floating the left leg and the right arm just off the mat. Keep your forehead connected and keep lengthening through the back leg and the front arm. Float softly back down to the mat and change sides. Stretching the left arm and the right leg, keeping your forehead connected to the mat. Softly float all 4 sets of limbs down to the mat and give me a recovery breath or 2. Pretend that there's a little marble underneath your nose. Roll the marble away from you to the front of the mat. Give me a soft squeeze through the glutes and the shoulders to hover both sets of arms and legs just an inch or 2 off the mat. Framing your ears with your head and keep looking down at the mat. Hold that line or rotate your palms in and swim freestyle by vigorously kicking the opposite arm and leg up and down, keeping the arms framed alongside your ears as you hold that Superman line. 4, 3, 2, float softly back down to the mat. Keep the arms extended out in front of you, palms looking down into the mat. Find that little marble underneath your nose. Roll the marble away from you to the front of the mat. Peel up 1 rib at a time and stop just before your bottom rib disengages from the mat. Keep your gaze down on the floor just between your 2 thumbs. Push down through the palms and weight your arms down towards the mat as if you were trying to get more distance between your ears and your shoulders. Now softly peek over the right shoulder to the floor behind you. Bring your head back to your start position. Stay here, peeking behind your shoulder and floating back, or bring your right arm into the movement, arcing the arm behind you alongside your body and swimming back to your start position. The head follows the arm movement the whole time. Left hand braced strongly down through the palm to keep your center of gravity on the mat. Last one. Float back to your start position. Relax both sets of hands down into the mat and tuck back to your start position with the forehead relaxed into the mat. No tension in the palms, elbows or shoulders. Relax your arms. Find that little marble underneath your nose. Roll it away. Start peeling up. Find your line with just the bottom rib still connected to the mat. Push down through the palms. Drop the shoulders away from your ears. Peek over the left shoulder and float back to your start position. Stay here, just looking behind you and floating back. Or tie your left arm into the movement. Follow the arm movement with your head and your neck. Keep your right palm strong into the mat. Bottom rib connected to the mat. Last one. As you reconnect and tuck that marble underneath your nose, float the arms alongside the body, back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking up. Keep your head and your hands on the mat. Squeeze both glutes simultaneously to lift, hold and hover your legs just an inch or 2 off the mat. Extend from your hip bones to the toes. Give me as much length through the legs as you can. Soften through the glutes and float the legs weightlessly back down to the mat. Keep your feet and your hands on the mat. Find a marble underneath your nose. Roll the marble away from you to the front of the mat. Slowly peel up and disconnect 1 rib at a time, stopping just before your bottom rib disengages. Weight your arms into the mat and try to grow from between your shoulder blades towards the nape of your neck. Giving me more work through the middle and the top section of your back. Try not to load the lower back too much. Float softly back down to the mat, reconnecting one rib at a time to come into a recovery breath or two. Keep your head and your legs on the mat, focus on your arms. Think of softly squeezing the shoulder blades to lift, hold and hover your arms just off the mat. Extend through your fingertips, trying to touch the two edges of your mat with each fingertip. Grow from the nape of your neck to the crown. Float softly back down to the mat. Bend the elbows, place the palms alongside your bosom, and push back into child pose. Pushing into both hands and sinking the weight of your bum bones back towards your heels. Swim the arms alongside the body, back of the hands connected to the mat, palms looking up, and shrug your shoulders at least 3 times forward, working a slow circular motion through the shoulders. Trace in the opposite direction. Arms are soft and relaxed, no tension in them. Find your way back to a 4-point kneeling frame on the mat. We're going to donkey kick on the left. Float your left knee off the floor and bring that whole bent lever up towards the ceiling and float back to your start position. Keep your gaze down on the mat. Don't collapse through your shoulders. Push down through the palms and think of equalizing your body weight distribution on the mat. 2 more like this. End with the knee hovering just off the floor. Think fire hydrant as you float your bent lever up to the side and back to your start position. Don't dangle your head down to the floor. Think of that long line through the neck and the spine. Squeeze the glute to float the leg up and soften to come back down. End high, pulse the knee in towards the midline of the body and come back to your start position. Feeling a nice little burning sensation in the glute. Think of that long line through your neck and spine. Watch your body weight distribution and don't allow your tummy to hang on the floor. Start circling forward, giving me 5 circular traces in one direction. Watch your body weight. Change your trace. Inhale for half. Exhale for the other half. Keep that belly button pulled in. Let's change sides. Let's bring it to a little release first, peeling up. Keep your hips stacked over the knees and just release your wrist line. Strong inner thigh connection, pull up from the pelvic floor. Find your 4-point kneeling frame. Let's repeat on side 2, lifting and lowering. Keeping that knee hovering off the floor. Squeeze the glute to float up. Come down with control. Readjust your arms if you need to. Make sure that you're not leaning aggressively into one of your arms. Body weight distribution equal on your 3 points of contact. Hover the knee just off the floor. Think fire hydrant as you float up to the side and come back to your start position. Strong through the shoulders, strong through the core, neckline long. End high, pulse the heel in towards the midline of the body and start and come back to your start position. Moving left to right, right to left. 4, 3, 2. You're going to circle forward for me. Use your breath pattern to control the movement. Try not to rush through the cycle. Once you've done 5 in one direction, trace in the opposite direction. Float back to your 4-point kneel. Walk your hands back, peel up. Tuck your tailbone under, long line through the lower abs and the inner thighs. Release your wrists. Find a plank and hold for 10 counts if you can. Strong through the shoulders, strong through the core. Brace the tops and the back of your thighs. Body line as parallel to the mat as you can manage. Use the knees if you need to. Bend through the elbows, hovering just off the floor. Keep those elbows hugged in towards your ribs. Relax to the mat, bringing the arms and the legs into extension. Stretch on the diagonal. Left leg, right arm hovering just off the mat. Keep your forehead connected to the mat and stretch on the diagonal. Change sides. Left arm, right leg hovering just an inch or two off the mat. Float softly back down to the mat. Find a little marble underneath your nose, roll it away. Squeeze softly through the glutes and the shoulders to hover your arms and legs just off the mat in a beautiful long Superman line. Framing your ears and trying to touch the walls at opposite ends of the rooms with your fingertips and your toes. Rotate the palms in and swing freestyle, vigorously kicking the opposite arm and leg up and down while holding that Superman line. 5, 4, 3, 2, float softly back down to the mat, palms down into the mat. Find a little marble underneath your nose, roll it away, peel up one vertebra at a time, one rib at a time. Stop just before your bottom rib disengages. Keep your gaze down between the two thumbs, push into both hands and drop the shoulders away from your ears, trying to grow from the mid and the top section of your spine. Peek over the right shoulder, looking for somebody standing behind you, and come back to your start position. Stay here, keep peeking back and floating back to your start position, or bring your right arm into the movement, arcing it alongside your body, while keeping a strong push down on the left palm. One more. Come back to your start position, float softly back down to the mat, reconnecting one rib at a time, taking a recovery breath or two once you've reconnected and softening totally through the arms. Find that marble, roll it away, peel up, push down strongly through both palms and drop the shoulders away from your ears. Peek over the left shoulder and float back to your start position. Stay here. Just moving the head and the neck or floating the arm. Make sure that your head and your neck follows the path of your palm. Keep your right hand pressing down into the mat, strong through that right shoulder. One more, we're going to come straight into a full locust. Reconnect to your mat. Peel down one rib at a time. As soon as you've reconnected your head and your forehead, swing the arms alongside the body. Give me a full locust. Roll that marble away, squeeze through the glutes and the shoulders to hover the arms and the legs just off the mat. Extending as much as you can and trying to grow from the mid-back through the top towards your shoulders. More work through the upper section of your back than the lower back if you can. Float softly back down to the mat. As you reconnect, bend the elbows, place the palms alongside your bosom and push back into child. Big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Push into both hands and sink the weight of your bum bones as far back as you can. Keep that belly button firmly pulled in. Keep your right arm extended, palm down. Take a big breath in and on the exhale, tuck your left hand palm up underneath your right armpit. Coming to rest on your left cheek. Keep pushing into that right palm. Sink your bum bones back and make your whole left shoulder and arm as heavy and relaxed into the mat as you can manage. Take a big breath in and on the exhale, come back into extension, pushing into both hands and sinking the weight of your bum bones back. Keep your left palm where it is. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, thread underneath your left armpit, coming to rest on your right cheek. Actively push into that left palm and make your right shoulder and arm as heavy, almost as if it wanted to dissolve into the mat. Find your way back into extension, pushing into both hands, sinking the weight of your bum bones back towards your heels. Then soften through the fingertips, through the palms, through the wrists, through the elbows, through the biceps and the triceps, and relax and drape your arms softly to the mat. Take at least 3 recovery breaths here, keeping your belly button firmly pulled in. When you're ready, gently creep your hands back towards your legs and float your knees and your heels together, taking a seat and finding your way to prayer, ending off your practice with a little bow. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up to like this class. Shoot me your comments in the comments box below, and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I will see you all for playtime on the mat tomorrow. Until then, keep it light.